So we're trying to figure out, how do we balance how much we want to consume today versus how much do we want to consume at some point in the future. Let's use a simplistic point of view. Just in general, say that you've got some stages of production that include research and development. That's a far away in the future, right? That's something that's not going to pay off for a long time, but it's necessary in order to come up with the production plans, maybe for a mining company. The mining company is going to take ore out of the ground and make it into metal. And then that's going to go to a production facility that's going to produce a key. And then that key is going to go to a shop, which is going to sell it to you. So we've got a research and development stage, we've got a mining stage, and then we've got a production stage, and then we've got a retail stage, 4 stages in our example. And the malinvestment that Austrians talk about is a change in where along the structure of production our investments will take place. And in general, when interest rates fall, the profitability of long-dated investment projects like research and development, things that won't really pay off until a long period of time, we see increases in investment in those stages relative to increases in investment in the shorter-dated investment projects like a retail store. And so malinvestment is the shifting of where entrepreneurs and business people decide to invest their borrowed money. So we've got fractional reserve banks creating money. The money creation process drives down interest rates. And as interest rates are lowered, entrepreneurs go out there and borrow money. But then they don't just blindly invest, they invest in those channels where the profitability is highest. And in general, the profitability is highest in the longest dated investment projects. And so while businesses, for their part, are shifting their investments along the structure of production, consumers are all of a sudden increasing their demand for consumable goods. They're saving less, they're borrowing money, and they're buying more goods. And so we've got these 2 elements happening at the same time. In money terms, I can go out there and borrow money and start consuming more today, which uses up resources. And normally, if I was using up resources, that would mean that you have fewer resources that you would need to invest or that you would use to invest. But in the fractional reserve banking system, I borrow money, I start consuming goods, but there's still money for you to borrow and invest also. And so you're doing this malinvestment. You're borrowing money and changing your investment patterns along the structure of production. And at the same time, I'm borrowing money and I'm consuming more, and that's taking away from the general economy resources that you would need in order to facilitate your investment projects. And so we've got this strange tension developing, which is consumers are doing the exact opposite of what businesses normally need. Consumers are consuming more during the business cycle due to lower interest rates, and businesses which need resources to invest, they don't have these resources available because consumers are consuming them all. So investors are just changing along the structure of production, the specific stage at which they're making investments.
So to go back to the malinvestment, so we've got this XYZ Corp, right? And they've got 5 potential R&D projects that are on the board. And at high interest rates, they may only be able to pursue one of those, and they'll choose the best one and go down that route. At medium interest rates, they may choose 3 of them. But when the interest rates are sufficiently low, they're going to choose all 5. And so to put it in gamblers' terms, they're going to take riskier bets because they've got more money and it's cheaper. And at the same time, these low interest rates make the consumer go out and overconsume, as you mentioned, which means they're going to have to underconsume at some point in the future to pay that back. But all this money is out there chasing the same set of scarce resources, because we live in a scarce resource environment. That's literally the study of economics, is how to allocate those scarce resources. Can you tell me a little bit about what effect does this new money have?
The effect on prices is by Cantillon effects. A Cantillon effect is the idea that money prices, they don't all change at the same rate or at the same time. Some change by more, and it depends on the avenues of spending, where you spend your money when you borrow it from the banking system. So normally in this picture of the business cycle that I've just given you, when we talk about overconsumption, we should see the prices of consumer goods increasing. And then when we get to the structure of production, the real price change that we see is that longer dated investments like research and development, those prices should really start to creep up because there's an increased number of those happening. And so the types of goods or input factors that we're going to use in that specific stage or for that specific investment, we should see those prices increasing. So when we have the structure of production, we see prices very far from consumable output increasing. And so not all prices are increasing at the same way. We see definite patterns where consumer goods prices become very expensive. We see the pattern where production goods or production projects very far from consumption, those prices get bid up. But we don't really see the prices of short-term investments, like I say, warehouses, production facilities, maybe retail outlets. We don't see those prices increasing at the same rate. So that's a key way that you can start to identify whether we're in the midst of an Austrian type business.
Hello, I'm Anthony Coleman. Thank you for watching this clip. If you enjoyed this clip from my show, you can click in the upper right-hand corner to see the full episode, or you can click in the upper left-hand corner to see other clips. Thank you and welcome to the Economic Circus.